My name is Thorn. I started running when I was probably in elementary school, just for sport, and got more and more serious as I got older, and over the last few years I started competing in races. Honestly, I don't remember what drew me to running. I always loved sport, and there was something that was tied to running for me that I really enjoyed. I prefer running on the trails over the road. There's something about being alone in the trails or with a small group in the trails that seems much more freeing and natural to me. For me, the race is more just about being involved in the community. It's about the distance and the mileage and seeing if the training has done what it's supposed to do, and that's a competition within myself, so less so with the people around me. Why did I decide to run a 50-kilometer race? It's funny, I've been asking myself that a lot recently. To be honest, I actually don't have a concrete answer, but there was something about challenging myself to run an ultra that both felt like something I could do and also something that I would enjoy doing. I did my first ultra in July. I did the Knacker, and that was an experience. Steep learning curve. What I didn't anticipate going into the race is how much of it is mental. I hit a low point at around 25-30 kilometers, and when I say it was an experience, what I mean was I had never felt so physically and emotionally exhausted all at once, and yet had to keep pushing and keep going, and so that was difficult, to say the least. I knew I wasn't injured, and I knew it was just something internal that was slowing me down, and I wanted to see if I could do it. And I think barring some sort of injury or something where I wouldn't have been able to move my feet, there wasn't going to be much that was going to stop me from getting there, so I'm glad I did it. Even though my body was fine within a couple of days, it took my head a few weeks to recover and to kind of pick up steam for that next race. And so I decided eventually that I owed it to myself to try and give it another shot and challenge myself to run that again. And I'm glad I did, because I had a much smarter and much more successful race last weekend. Gary Robbins, who is my coach, and his partner Eric Carter are also big components of this for me. I get about a weekly phone call with Gary and talk about strategy, and whether it be for a specific race or fueling, and the psychological aspect of running these races, and how day-to-day life can take its toll on your training and performance. And then I have a couple of people that I run with on a frequent basis, and without them, there'd be days where the last thing I want to do is go for a 3, 4, 5 hour run in the snow or the mud or whatever, and one text or one phone call changes my mindset pretty significantly. And I'm very grateful for those relationships. Have I thought about running 100K, 100 miles? Yeah, but I would also like to get to a point where I'm more comfortable with the 50K distance, and I can get a competitive time in that, something that I'm a little bit more comfortable with before I move up my distance. And then we'll start looking at 100K or 100 miles, which seems crazy just thinking about it, but a year ago 50K seemed crazy, so who knows.